You know what I'm saying? Thinking what we thinking. Oh my goodness. I don't think we was just be irritating all the time. You know what I'm saying? Thinking. This is looking, but oh well, it is what it is. Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing well today, and I hope you're not too scared of my crazy hair, because it is a crazy, but it's fun. It's something that I thought, you know what, look, I ain't even gonna worry about it today. I'm just gonna put it up and make it look like what it looked like, and this is what it looked like. Okay, so we are going to be talking about a few things today, and I think it's very important that we talk about it because, you know, these are serious issues. We're living in a time now where people just want to do what they want to do, not be accountable for their actions, and we don't want future generations learning from this. And we can see that some people are already persuaded by some of the nonsense that are coming from this couple. And, you know, my whole thing is, okay, I'll put it like this. Like for me, myself, you guys all know that I've always been a big Princess Diana fan. When I started learning about Princess Diana, I was 12. And my interest in Princess Diana taught me a lot because she was a good person. It taught me a lot about being a kind, a humble person, caring about people who are less fortunate than yourself. So much so that I've modeled my life and my professional life around the things similar to the things that Princess Diana put her focus on in her life. So she had a profound influence on me as a young girl. Thank goodness she was a good person. Because what happens is, if you are on the other side of that and you're not a good person and you're making poor choices and you are essentially on the world stage and you have people, young girls, young people who are essentially modeling themselves after a bad example because they are, you know, liking the bad example, or they think the bad example is the good example. What does that lead to? Where can that lead? It leads to a bunch of nonsense and people behaving badly. And I fear that people, younger generations who have an interest, who are coming to know the royals, find themselves looking at this couple and thinking, you know, well, yeah, shoot, that's right. You tell grandma, you know, look, grandma, I'm naming my child after your pet name. I'm just giving you a heads up. So when you hear about it, you know, you ain't surprised because I'm going to be kind to you like that, you know. And then they just think, okay, that was good. She was behaving well. She did things in the right way. She told her grandma, she's like, look, this is what we're going to do. And people model themselves after things that they admire. Now, would that be the correct thing to do? No, it would not. Because what they did, and we all know from reading their statement, that they had given a statement saying that it was their hope to name their child after the grandma's pet name. And it wasn't like, Grandma, how would you feel about us naming our child after your pet name, your beloved pet name? You know, how would that make you feel? Would that be okay to do? You know, like it didn't come out like that. They were just like, look, we're going to do this. Giving you a heads up, okay? And they kept it moving. But that's not okay to do. That's what they did. That's not okay. So going back to what I'm trying to make the point of is that it's important to speak out about such things in a way that it's not all fluff and flowers and fairy tales and just wonderfulness. We got the other extreme to this. And this is like, no, we giving you the other side to this. Don't look to this couple as being an example of how you should do things because they're wrong. They've gone about things in the wrong way. And I don't care if they try to say, you know, with their PR and, you know, like trying to explain it and giving excuses and, you know, like what I heard Oprah and Gail say, well, they just wanted to be respected. They just wanted, you know, trying to make sense of, well, they just this and they just that. No, it's not just this and that. It's wrong. And you don't try to make excuses for it. You got to put your foot down and say, no, this is not okay. And when people back that behavior to make it sound as if, oh, it's fine, it's okay, they just want it, then you're contributing to this bad influence. You're contributing to this problem. And then we got, before you know it, the whole society or people that admire this couple, everything is turned upside down, and people going around making poor choices and thinking that the poor choice is the right choice, you know? And so that's why I feel like it's my duty. It's my channel is here to give the other side to look at, to know that the things that this couple are doing are not okay, is not right. I'm going to call it out in the most respectful way that I can and learn from it, make it teachable moments. Because at the end of the day, I'm just trying to educate people to see, you know, think about it this way, rather than you being attracted to the bad model of things. Look at the other side to it and think, well, just maybe that wasn't the right thing to do. Because you know what PDina said? Well, she said this. So she was like saying no. She gave him the smackdown. Like, you know, let's have a compare and contrast going on here to try to understand fully the situation. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay? Okay. All right. So there's a few things with this whole naming of the baby Lilibet, and I've spoken about this, and I'm just going to go through a couple of articles. Now, I did get someone sending me some information, and I do appreciate the person that did that sent me a news article. And, you know, this is the thing. Sometimes if you don't get a response from me, or, you know, I don't mention it on my channel, doesn't mean really that I didn't see it. It's just that I'm starting to get so much email that I can't keep up, and I have to only allow myself so much time in a day to respond. But I try, I really do, but you know, keep it coming. And if you haven't heard from me, it really does not mean that I haven't seen it. It may mean that I just was going through things and didn't have the time to respond, and just thought about it and was like, oh, okay, that's something to think about, and just kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I'm rolling, just so that you know how it is. But I do appreciate your comments and your reaching out to me and sending me things. It helps me to kind of get a bigger overview of what's out there, because I can only see so much in my little realm of the world that I have. So it is appreciated. Here is the article, and I wanted to just go over that because there is palace frustration over the whole Lilibet naming thing choice, and there is an actual bigger nuance or a bigger or wider annoyance of the Sussexes or the Sussexes departure. I tell you guys, all the S's in that is hard for me. It's just crazy. Okay, so she's saying here, so amid the briefing, oh, and also you guys know Mr. Otis is down here by my feet. He just snoring away. He just gets all cozy and comfy when I'm in here doing this. So if that's annoying y'all, so far y'all don't give me any problems about his snoring. So thank you for that, because then that lets me know, okay, just let him sit there and snore away and let me just do what I do. Amid the briefing war that has broken out between the Duke and the Duchess of Sussex, Buckingham Palace and the BBC, what the Queen actually thinks about Harry and Meghan naming their newborn daughter Lilibet has become rather a secondary issue, because there's something else that is going on here that needs to be talked about. A little minor thing here, but not minor to the people who are involved, I might say. The palace's refusal to deny the BBC royal correspondent Johnny Diamond's report that Her Majesty, the Queen, was never asked her opinion on the couple's decision to name the baby after her childhood nickname speaks volumes. It speaks volumes about the ongoing disconnect, because there is a wider issue here. There's a disconnect between the institution and the Sussexes' stateside operations. That's the bigger issue. There's a disconnect between the institution and the Sussexes. It just is. It's like there's a disconnection. It's like, I can't hear you. What you say? Huh? What? I only got part of that. Like, they're not speaking clearly to each other. And there's a problem with that, because when there's a lack of communication, problems happen. Things can get discombobulated and misconstrued, and no clarity causes all kinds of problems. And essentially, that is what we have going on here. That's what it is. Royal aides have become increasingly vexed by Harry and his wife's representatives, both official and self-appointed, claiming to speak for the 95-year-old monarch when they are in no position to do so. So it's like, those who are official and unofficial that just say, okay, I'm going to call the royal family, or call up, Buckingham Palace and say what I got to say. Like, these are unofficial people that are just trying to make their voices heard, and they're not even officially representing anything about the monarch. Just because they can make a phone call to them don't mean you can speak for them. It's like I said, the disconnect. We're not speaking like to each other. We're speaking past each other. So, claiming the couple would not have called their second child Lilibet without the Queen's backing. Their LA-based global press secretary, Toya Holness, told The Telegraph the Duke spoke with his family in advance of the announcement. In fact, his grandmama was the first family member that they had called. Okay. Which, we know is very likely to have happened, that they made the phone call. During that conversation, he shared their hope. That's the key word here, y'all. Hope. Hope of naming their daughter Lilibet in her honor. Had she not been supportive, they would not have used the name. Now, you know what? That whole part right there just tells me, yes, you would. Yes, you would. If she would have been like, on her way to saying no, before she could even get no out, they would have hung up the phone and said, okay, it's a wrap, we're doing it. Because they don't respect the monarch like that. They just gonna do what they want to do, period. They just gonna do what they want to do. Okay? So, yet, despite the Sussexes lawyers' chillings accusing the BBC of defamation, the statement does not contradict the thrust of Mr. Diamond's report that the Queen was told. She was told. We got the word hope and told. Okay? Rather than asked about the baby's name. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, we had the whole issue with, the word royal. Remember royal? The Queen was like, y'all ain't using the word royal. Y'all ain't using it. And, the couple was like, well, nobody has complete rights to the word royal. But in order to not make controversy, we're not going to do it. But they still had to make a dab and a jab just at that whole royal thing. So it doesn't surprise me that there was an issue with the words that were said during the conversation, speaking hope to name, and I'm telling you what we're going to do. It doesn't surprise me that this is how it occurred. Miscommunication is happening. There is also the small matter of actively trying to bridge the gap between the monarch and his former much loved members. The Queen is trying to be nice. She's a dignified lady. Dignified. Because I can assure you, if she was in my family or some other people's families that I know, the word dignified is not going to exist, because you getting a smack down. You getting it told to you straight. You ain't trying to be dignified. You done got my blood pressure up. I'm going to give you a smack down. Okay? But the queen, being on the global stage and such, is being dignified, you know. I'm learning about dignity from the queen, because she sure does have a reserve to do things. Because I'll be like, Queen, what you doing? What you doing, Queen? Like looking at her with the side eye. Come on now. What you gonna do? She's like, no, I'm a dignified lady. I'm dignified. My grandson getting on my nerves. I know how I feel, but I'm a dignified lady. And I ain't gonna do that. I'm sitting back and I'm learning, y'all. I'm learning. I'm like, oh, that's how people do things in those kinds of families. It's quite intriguing, I might say. Yes, it is, to be dignified. I am learning. So anyway, as such, the general consensus appears to be that while she probably would have felt uncomfortable about the royal couple appropriating her late husband's pet name for her, after everything that has happened since Harry and Meghan dropped their Megxit bombshell in January of 2020, she would hardly have been minded to rock the boat. This is what dignified people do. They don't rock the boat. Okay, so courtiers also appear to be increasingly concerned that the self-exiled royal couple keep attempting to draw a distinction between the queen and the institution she represents. It's like there's no distinction. They marry. The queen is married to the institution. The queen is devoted. The queen is essentially saying, I have my loyalty to the institution. And this is why the Sussexes cannot see the distinction between the two, because they don't respect it. They don't respect the commitment and the marriage that the queen has to the institution. So the likelihood of this couple having not really communicated properly and just said, I hope to do this, you know, or saying we're going to do this, is more than likely what has happened. Because by their behavior and how they do things, they don't respect the queen's position of loyalty in marriage to this institution. So this is why you get these miscommunications, because they don't learn from, you know, how to even be sacrificial in your duties as a public representative of an institution. They don't respect it. They just left, and they break rules and they do what they want to do. That's really the big picture here. They don't respect the position that the queen has to the institution, and, might I add, to the UK people, to the public. This couple does not respect what the queen has committed her life to since she said this.
I should like to make that dedication now. It is very simple. I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and to the service of our great imperial family to which we all belong. But I shall not have strength to carry out this resolution alone, unless you join in it with me, as I now invite you to do. I know that your support will be unfailingly given. God help me to make good my vow, and God bless all of you who are willing to share in it.
They don't respect that. Like, that was just way back in the olden days to them when the queen said that. They're not respecting it. So they don't respect the UK people. This is why the popularity of Harry has plummeted, because the people know that this is somebody who had lost his marbles. He's just gone wackadoo. He don't know what he's doing. He's crazy. He's just off the chain. He's influenced. He ain't got no commitment to anything. So this is why you get these problems. This is the issue. Harry and his wife have been noticeably careful to heap praise on the sovereign as she prepares for her Platinum Jubilee next year, while voicing criticism of the firm in general. Exactly. See, you know, you going on Oprah, you telling Oprah, you know, like, well, they racist, you know, somebody said this about my child, or, you know, they have not supported us, or the men in gray suits this, and, you know, they're going to sit here and complain about the queen and completely overlooking the fact that she's married to the institution, people. So essentially, when they went and did this whole interview with Oprah, they were dissing the queen the whole time. They sat in those chairs in front of Oprah and the cameras with a click, click, and said, "Queen, you this, and you this." That whole interview essentially was dissing the queen, the majesty. That's what it was. They was dissing her. They don't respect her. But they want us to believe, oh, no. We was just disrespecting the institution, the firm, you know, the men in the gray suits, those people. We love the queen, but those two, you can't separate them. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all don't understand? Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand what's going on here with the queen. She's devoted. Something they cannot understand or appreciate. And this is why you have this miscommunication. And if it's not miscommunication, it's a complete lack of disrespect for what she has committed her life to. It's like, I love my grandson, but my grandson, look, you just going to be exiled, and I'm going to love you with dignity. But the real deal is I ain't got time for your nonsense. Get out of my face. I got a job to do. And my job is to the people and the institution to do what I've always committed myself to doing. So royal aides were similarly frustrated when Harry blamed the staff for their grandmother and grandmother, Lord, I can't read, grandmother and father in the run up to their departure, pointing out that is what courtiers are paid to do, right? So it's kind of like, and this is the other thing with respecting and all of that, it's the queen hires people, and the queen has people that tell the new people, hey, these are the rules. And where did the rules come from? The rules come from the queen. So if the paid staff will get their paycheck from the queen, and you're going to say, well, it was the staff that did it, they're the blame, they're the ones. Essentially, you're saying, no, you blaming the queen, because who do you think the staff got their rules and their marching orders from? The queen, right? So, of course, you know, the staff is upset because you're trying to blame me, but I'm just doing my job. So it's like all these unreasonable ways of looking at things and showing their entitlement and not commitment to the queen and her duty and all of these things have turned things upside down, got us all living into a reality show. And this American girl is the cause of it, might I add. Because Harry is following orders from his boss, his wife, essentially. So when you have people that lack these basic skills that we're talking about, this is where the problem comes in. And this is why education is so important. Being able to learn to communicate, understanding what dignity is, and respect and responsibility, and learning to do things in a way that is cohesively acceptable is so important, because then you got fringes like this that could cause splinters of more people behaving like this, causing a problem for the whole world. We have got to prevent the fringes of this couple becoming the norms of our society.